Welcome to Ask the Expert, an award-winning daily series from 8:30 to 9 a.m. to help small businesses. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments of the live feed. And if you need any more advice, please do join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook, where there are accountants and business experts on hand 24/7. During the live session today, we will be running a poll, so please do engage with it, and I will reveal the results at the end of the show. Thank you so much to everyone who is joining me today. My name is Eriona. I am the Managing Director of Majors Accounts, which is a small family-run practice based in South East London. I am a qualified Chartered Certified Accountant with the ACCA, and I've had a lot of I guess my educational background is in quite a few areas of accounting and finance. So I have a master's in accounting and finance, a master's in law in international banking and finance, and I've also completed a postgraduate diploma in strategic finance at the University of Oxford. So I tried to kind of broaden my skill set with knowledge from different areas of finance, accounting and law to try and provide a better service for my clients. Safe to say now, studying is done. I'm also a member of the QuickBooks Accountant Council and ACCA's UK Practitioner Network panel. I've been re-elected for another year this year, and I'm also a member of the ACCA SME Global Forum. So I've been working in practice for maybe 14, 15 years. So I started off pretty young, and I did this while studying to really enhance the knowledge that I was getting and put it into practice on a daily basis. So backed with the experience from small practice, I've really got to see, all areas of business, how it works, how businesses function in different industries, different sectors, what their pain points are, and investigating ways of providing solutions for those pain points. Some businesses may have had goals to grow, some may have had goals to become more profitable, whatever they may be. I've really got a chance to see, how we can assist and help with those goals. So as I mentioned, I'm the Managing Director of Majors Accounts. So who are Majors Accounts? We are a firm that started about 16 years ago now. We are a small accountancy practice based in South East London. We provide support to businesses in the SME space. So whether they are owner-managed businesses, self-employed or limited companies, and we have done this for businesses in a wide range of industries and sectors over the years. So some of those are the construction industry, which is actually one of our niches now. We have quite a few clients in that field. We also work very closely with hospitality businesses like restaurants, hairdressers, barbers and so on, and financial services, IT, nurseries, pubs, bars. So over the years we've seen quite a few different businesses, and as everyone is going digital, we're seeing a lot more online businesses also joining us, and we're having the privilege to help those businesses out as well. So since becoming a managing director, I've spearheaded and implemented a digitalisation strategy within our business. We are very tech heavy as an accountancy practice, with the idea of this was to become a paperless office, which I'm proud to say that we have done. And we use QuickBooks Online as our main software. And we've become, I hope, somewhat experts in QuickBooks Online and in that space. And now everything that we do can be done online using an array of really amazing technology, which all feed into QuickBooks to create a streamlined process and an elevated experience, not just for our team, but whilst using the cutting edge technology, we're being ahead of the game for our clients, especially as MTD for income tax is soon to come in next year, and MTD for VAT for all businesses this year. So we've been doing this for a long time, so we're really well versed in knowing what our clients need to do to ensure they stay compliant, but also using the information that we're getting in real time to make changes to their businesses by being able to make more informed financial decisions, because they actually have the data to hand. They don't need to wait a year after the year has ended to find out how they did last year. So now there is, that convenience, time saving. Clients don't need to necessarily come in to see us anymore. As we do everything online, including meetings. So one thing that we've noticed is that now we have a lot more time to speak to our clients because we've got rid of the mundane work, and we're focusing on really understanding the figures and letting our clients know what that means for their business. We have clients from Ireland all the way down to the Isle of Wight, and now we are moving to a more global reach as well, which is something that this strategy that we've put in place has allowed us the luxury of being able to go global now. We are a family-run practice, so we really are big on treating our clients like family, and also our team, which we believe that helps to build an excellent rapport with both our team and our clients. So we don't have that corporate feel. We want our clients to be comfortable and to be able to speak to us freely and to provide that more personalized service. And now with the technology, we've actually become a lot closer with our clients. Our efforts have not gone unnoticed, and Majors Accounts has been nominated for Independent Firm of the Year Greater London by the British Accountancy Awards for 2 years in a row. I myself have also been nominated for Top 50 Women in Accounting for 2 years also, and also for 3 awards by the Women in Accounting and Finance Awards 2020. So what we're doing is making a difference to businesses and the overall industry itself. But enough about me and our business. Today I just really wanted to go through and highlight some support which has been given by the government, which I've seen not a lot of businesses are aware of. It hasn't kind of been big on the news. It hasn't been publicised as much. So this is the Omicron Hospitality and Leisure Support Grant. So just before the Christmas break, the Chancellor announced a new support package for some businesses who were most affected by the Omicron variant. And this is the biggest single measure that was reintroduction of one-off grants of up to £6,000 for businesses in the hospitality and leisure sector, many of whom have seen seasonal trade hugely impacted by the latest COVID variant. And we've seen this with a lot of our clients, actually. They were planning to be very busy, had a lot of bookings for December, and unfortunately with the measures that were put in place, they saw their bookings go down to 30% of what they had. It is thought that there are some 200,000 businesses that will be eligible for these new grants. And on the 7th of January this month, the government actually delivered the funding to councils across England to provide these one-off grants. Now, this means that firms in the hospitality and leisure and accommodation sectors, many of whom have seen that decline in footfall and increased cancellations due to this variant, they'll be able to apply for one-off grants of up to £6,000 per premises, depending on the rateable value of the venue. Now, this is very similar to other grants, so you may be aware now of the rateable value of your business, but just to go through that. So with rateable values of up to £51,000 or above, the funding available would be £6,000. For those with a rateable value between 15,000 to 51,000, the rateable value is 4,000. So the grant would be 4,000, and the businesses with a rateable value of below 15,000 they would be able to get £2,667. So the government will also provide a top-up for a discretionary fund to help local authorities support other businesses outside of this hospitality and leisure sector. So if you don't fall within that, double check with your council, because there may be something else that will be available to you. Now, different councils will have different schemes and different reasons that they will give grants. So please make sure you do go onto your council's website and find out what is available in your area. The devolved administrations in Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland will also receive an additional 150 million through the Barnett formula to help offer similar measures. So there will be around 80 million going to the Scottish Government, £50 million going to the Welsh Government, and 25 million going to the Northern Ireland Executive. But it's all well and good you've managed to get this funding. You really need to consider how you're going to incorporate this funding into your business to make sure that it can go further. So you make the best use of it. Whether this is, it could help your cash flow. Some businesses may be struggling slightly with cash flow at the moment, and they're still trying to recover from the effects of COVID and the latest measures and so on. It could be to pay any liabilities that you may have. So this could be to pay suppliers to ensure that they're able to keep going and they're able to keep sending you the supplies that you need. Or it could also be, I've heard some people talking about they want to pay tax with it. You can do, what I would suggest is with HMRC at the moment, you can actually set up payment plans. So consider whether this is the best use of the money. And another thing is you could be looking into investment. So investment in equipment, maybe you need that all important upgrade, or you want to add a new service line. So you need new equipment for the new services that you're going to provide. Could you be using that for marketing, especially online, seeing as so many businesses are online now and the customers are also online? Or could you be investing in people? A lot of people obviously had to let go of their staff because they were unable to afford them, but could this help bridge that gap in bringing some people back and preparing for hopefully the recovery and people who are experienced to be there when we do go back to normal fully with sales and so on. So we have some questions that are coming in, which I'm going to start taking now. We have a question from Celine on Instagram DM, who says, so far, January has been absolutely dead. I guess it's to be expected after Christmas. My business didn't exist this time last year, so I have nothing to compare it to. If things continue to be slow until later in the year, what can I do to keep things ticking over or spread the cost? January generally is a slow month for many businesses. Obviously, as you've mentioned, this is your first year, so this is the first time you're seeing it. It doesn't help that you're seeing it through COVID and the effects of the latest variant from last month. In terms of spreading costs, it depends really what kind of cost that you have. A lot of suppliers, they are aware of what's happened and they are happy to kind of provide payment plans. As long as you honor those payment plans and stick to them, then you will be able to spread the cost slightly there. Consider if you're selling anything, can you do anything online to help maybe reduce costs of a site? Can you get a smaller site until you're able to really get those sales coming in? So there are a number of different measures, but it's really depending on the kind of business that you have. So if you want any more information, I'd be happy to help out with that, and you can contact me. My details will be shown at the end of the show as well, but I'd be happy to help. It really just depends on what kind of business you have in order to give you, as much value as possible. We have a question from June on Facebook Messenger, who says, any tips on how best to handle suspected fraudulent transaction? I had a customer try to purchase a high value item. He didn't want delivery and wanted to pick it up immediately. But when I checked, some transactions declined, some were pending. It all just seems very dodgy to me. Yeah, there is a lot of fraudulent activity which has been happening during the last 18 months. It's really ramped up, and it's so surprising to see the new and innovative ways that fraudsters are coming up with, trying to unfortunately take money from people. If you're selling high ticket items, high value items, what I would say is maybe ensure that payment has gone through before the item is delivered or given to the customer. Maybe ask for, obviously if you're not delivering, so with delivery you could say, there's a 5-day delivery period, so you can have those 5 days to make sure the payment has gone through. Wait until you've got an actual authorization code from the bank to say, yep, it's all gone through. But I would highlight that because this ticket item is very high, it's not something that you can just hand over until you've got confirmation that it's definitely gone through. Generally, if you're taking card payment or anything like that, it would show whether it is declined. Some banks it may take some time, but say there is a cooling off period, at least 24 hours before the item is handed over. So there are a few different things that you can do, but it really depends on kind of the value of the item that you're selling, and being able to show that I need to provide 24 hours before it is released to you, before you give it to them. We have a question from Ronan on Twitter, DMs, who says the maximum amount you can get is £6,000, but it's not clear to me what makes you eligible for that amount as opposed to the lower ones. So the difference on how much you can get depends on your rateable value of the site that you are running your business from. So that is the business rates. And as I mentioned earlier, it will be £6,000, £4,000 or £2,667. And if you're on 15,000 or lower rateable value, you will get the lower amount. From 15 to 51,000 rateable value, you will get the 4,000, and anything above 51,000 is you will get the £6,000 grant. In terms of how to prove that you're eligible, when you apply or approach your council, they will ask to see proof that there has been a footfall. And for those where this is the first time that they were operating, it's going to be a bit difficult. So one way you could show all the bookings you had and how many of those were cancelled as a result of the announcements that were made by the government and the measures that were put in place. For those that have been trading for a while and this is not their first year, you can show the difference year on year. Now, I appreciate that last year it wasn't that great either because there were still measures in place, but you could put a 3-year kind of report together to show how much sales have declined in that time and footfall as well. But you will be prepared that you will need to show some sort of proof that this has happened. They won't just give the money to anybody. You have to show that you did suffer as a result of the measures that were put in place. We have a question from Hakeem on Instagram DMs who says, I run a restaurant in my area and we had quite a lot of cancellations for staff Christmas dinners at the end of last year. We did all right in the end, but ultimately didn't make as much as we could have. Could we claim for the Omicron grant? Yes, you can do, even though you did slightly better than you were expecting. I guess when the announcement was made, you thought, oh no, we're going to lose so many parties. But you still had a lot of cancellations, even though you did okay. So there is still a case to be put there to say that we would have had a lot more business and a lot more bookings, which we did take, but some had to cancel. So as you're affected, you prove what your rateable value is, and you should be able to get the grant. However, I would say there is limited funding for this. So if you haven't already, please do get on this as soon as possible. Approach your council, make all the appropriate applications. Some will be an online application. Some may say that you need to send them an email with the details. Some may want a paper form. So please do make sure you find out as soon as possible, because the money will run out at some point, and you don't want to be one of those that was unfortunately, lost because of the fact that the money would have run out. We have a question from Bridget on Instagram who says, my council website says that businesses must have been trading on 30th of December 2021, but we weren't on that day. We had to close for a couple of days around the 30th due to isolating staff. Should we still apply? I would say definitely do apply. I think when they say that you had to have been trading on the 30th of December, they mean more along the lines of your business had to have been up and running or existing at that time. So if you just had to close for a couple of days because of staff isolations, then that's one of the reasons that you need the funding, because of everything that's happened, and you have to isolate. You have no choice. But as long as you were trading before that, definitely apply. And if you did have to close, my guess is you would have had less customers than if you didn't have to close. So definitely go for it. The worst they can say at the end of the day is no. So give it a go, and I'm sure the result will be positive. We have a question from Keegan on Facebook Messenger who says, "Good morning, Eriona. I'm also an accountant and started my own practice in 2019. Best of luck. Any advice on working with clients who are in a rough patch and there's not any support available to them? How should I advise them?" This was, I mean, it's a shame that you've had to start your practice in this kind of time, where a lot of your customers and clients will be in not the greatest position. So many businesses were in the exact same position. Obviously, over the last 18 months, there have been a number of different grants that have been available. There have been a number of different fundings that are available to businesses as well. Obviously, this latest support that we just mentioned, that could be one way of helping them, maybe giving them a little bit of room to breathe. But other than that, there are many businesses out there who are assisting with finance. And a lot of businesses actually have no clue what is available to them. And they think, oh, it's finance. I don't want to have that, that liability. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay it and so on. But there are different options available depending on different businesses' circumstances. I've been in business for a long time, and every day I hear of new ways of obtaining finance or support for a business that is tailored to them. So if you have any contacts with a finance provider, please do speak to them and see, what they can do. If you would like, send me your details and I can give you a few contacts that we use that have been great in helping our clients, because there are some clients, unfortunately, over the last 2 years haven't been able to get access to any grants because they weren't eligible for one reason or another, and they really feel like they've been stuck. They don't know what to do. They haven't had any support whatsoever. So we had to look at other ways we could help them during the last 2 years, and so a lot of that was for different kinds of finance that are out there. So definitely do contact me and I will provide you with those details and speak to them, and you should be able to find some new ways of helping your clients. We have a question from Jordan on Instagram DM who says, "I've been working on a new business idea for 8 months now and have gone through probably 50 names, but still nothing feels right. How easy is it to rebrand the company if I change my mind later on?" I know exactly what you mean. So I took on the family business, so I couldn't really change the name, but the name did build up a lot of credibility over the years. Now, I'll give you an example with us. We always went by Majors Accounts & Co Ltd. But as I took over, I just felt I wanted something a little bit more snappy. As we know nowadays, a lot of people remember one-liners or one words, and to really stick in people's mind. So I've kind of shortened our name. It went to Majors Accounts and now to Majors. So a lot of people refer to us as Majors. It's not impossible to rebrand. I have changed our logo a few times since I took over, but what I've made sure is that the colors stayed the same, although the font changed slightly, but it wasn't too difficult, essentially. As long as you keep that same theme, it's not too difficult. One thing is, if you're getting stuck on just the name, as in what you want to be known by, that's one thing. But in terms of a legal name, so company name, you can actually name yourself whatever you want and be trading as something that you want to call yourself. So it's not too difficult. It's just you got to make sure, if you do rebrand in the end, don't kind of go from one thing and change massively to something else. If you keep the same colors and generally the same feel, it's not too difficult, or go through it slowly. So as I said, I've rebranded probably 2-3 times, but each time it wasn't a significant change. But if you look at what we look like now compared to when we started, they are two very different logos and colors, and I guess shortening the name as well. So it's not difficult. It can be done. You just have to be careful how you do it. We have a question from Michelle on Facebook Messenger who says, "I need advice about closing a limited company. I've been making sales, but my outgoings means I've not made any profits. Turnover has been less than 30k and I've already made 2 repayments to a £10,000 loan I took out. What do you suggest?" If you do feel that you're running at a loss, then by company law, you should not be trading where you know that the company is not going to be solvent. So this could be the time. There are a couple of options. One is time to see a liquidator. A lot of liquidators will give you some free support at the start before they take you on. At least go see them, find out what can be done, what your obligations are, because if the business has a £10,000 loan, will you be made to pay that back? A lot of times in liquidations, you may actually be able to work around so you don't pay that back, because the business may not have enough assets or money in the bank to be able to pay it. But do consider you will need to pay the liquidator too, and that's something that, you know, their fees they will not forgo. They will want their fees in full. But that's one way of closing the company. And if you've got anything that you owe, they will help to work with HMRC and the loan companies, for example, to come to an agreement on a lower amount that can be paid, if not all of it. Now, you may be worried about, well, if I don't pay the loans, then that's going to affect me personally. With a limited company, generally, it will not affect you as an individual. Once the company is closed, essentially, it's like a human being, you know, it doesn't exist anymore. So no one can chase the company unless it was in huge debts with £10,000. That's not going to happen. But that's kind of what a liquidation does. It will help out. The other way is if you speak to an accountant or your accountant to kind of help bring things to a close. Speak to banks, see how much you can pay. If you do want to make the loan repayment, obviously you can make it at any time. The interest that you pay will be lower, so it may not be a full £10,000 plus the interest that you're expecting. But then in terms of closing the company, once you have stopped trading, because you do need to stop trading, you need to leave about 3 months or so and send off a strike-off form to Companies House to let them know that the company is closing. With the way that works, Companies House put a notification on their website to say that a strike-off has been sent off, and they will send a notice to the London Gazette. A lot of people think, oh no, what does that mean? I don't want to be in the London Gazette. This is just procedure that's always been the case. They have to put a notice to say that this company is closing. Anybody who is owed by them has the right now to speak up and say, no, I don't want them to close because they owe me. Once they close, I can't get that money back. If no one responds after a month, then they put in another advert in the London Gazette to say, final chance, this company is closing. That stays for a month. And once no one has responded to that, then no one is able to stop the company closing, and then it will officially close itself. This process takes 3 months. There's nothing you can do to speed it up. It's literally just a process that you have to go through. Once the company's closed, you're done. You don't need to really consider it anymore. Just one thing I would say, make sure you keep some kind of records of any paperwork, ideally digitally, in case in the future the company would ever be reopened. Generally, that doesn't happen. Any companies that have been reopened, usually they're from HMRC, because they realise actually we probably could have had a lot of money that we missed out on here, and it costs them a lot of money to reopen the company. So if they do, then they think that there's a lot of money to be had. So hence why they won't just open companies, you know, on the daily. They really have to think about it. So unless you owe maybe hundreds of thousands, you should be safe. They're not going to be reopening that. But just to be on the safe side, please do keep that information. We have a question from Alicia on Twitter DMs, who says, now that the majority of my client info is digital, I want to make sure my business is GDPR compliant. Any advice on how to go about this? Best practice on storing data? Yeah, we were really big on this. Obviously, we're fully digital, and we had to make sure that we were GDPR compliant, and the security of our clients' data is super important as well. So what we use is a company called SmartVault. So all of our software is on the cloud. All of our clients' details and information are on the cloud, and there is two-factor authentication on that, and we have it obviously monitored on the daily basis by our IT which works in the background, backing that up as well. And also with information that is sent, we send all information through there. So it also acts as a portal for our clients. So any information our clients need, generally we'll get requests of, can I have my tax certificate for last year? Can I have whatever information they need? They can log in and find that themselves in there. We do not send anything by email, just because GDPR says that email is not a safe way of transmitting information, and it could be, you know, intercepted at some point. So you don't want to be held responsible for that. And make sure you sign up to the ICO online. It's not expensive, but it's something that you must ensure that you're showing that you are GDPR compliant, and they have templates there as well. Unfortunately, I don't have any more time to answer any more questions, but the poll results are in. We asked you, do you feel like your business needs further support due to the Omicron wave? 50% of you said yes, and 50% said no. It's encouraging that at least half now are saying that they don't need as much support, which is positive. Means that businesses are starting to get back on their feet. For the 50% who said yes, please do go on your council's website and find out how you can take advantage of this grant. It's there to be had, so if you can, please do try and get that. So thank you all for tuning in this morning. If you do want to get in touch with me, please contact me via the Majors Accounts website at www.majorsaccounts.com. We are also on all social media platforms, so on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and LinkedIn, so feel free to get through to us that way. Or on our website, we also have a news section where you can see things that are updated on a daily basis, but you can also download our app, which is packed full of great calculators and further information, and it's free. So please do go on to our website and download that. Now, coming up on Ask the Expert tomorrow is Matt Bagwell, who's a performance coach and endurance athlete. To tune in to learn how practicing breath work can help you power through tax season. I think we all need that. A reminder that if you need any more advice, please do join the official Intuit QuickBooks SMB community group on Facebook, where there are business experts and accountants on hand 24/7. I've really enjoyed answering your questions today. I hope they helped as much as possible, and I wish you all a great day.